Welcome back, Sports Nation and my champions. This is Eric from CSN, and this week we're going to be turning our fantasy focus towards the NFC North, starting with the Green Bay Packers. We're going to start on the offensive side of the ball first, and of course we start at quarterback, and that's none other than Aaron Rodgers. He finished as QB2 last year, had a total of 4,299 yards, 48 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions. Now he's going in the 6th round as the QB8. And I think that's good value for him. Now, the touchdowns, I think, were kind of overinflated. He hasn't had 40 plus touchdowns since the 2016 season. So I could see him regressing a little bit from that QB2 status. But I think you're getting a solid player here, even at a QB8 status. And ESPN had a good stat with him and basically said if he played at least 15 games in a season, he's been a top 10 fantasy quarterback each of those seasons. So again, the only question here is he's going to be a Green Bay Packer when week 1 starts, with all this stuff going around between him and the general manager. Is he going to be shipped off somewhere? Is Jordan Love going to start here? So keep an eye on this, but if he is staying with the Green Bay Packers, I think this is good value for him. Next guy I want to talk about is Aaron Jones. Finishes running back 5 last year. He's going in the early 2nd round as the running back 9, and honestly I think this is pretty good value for him as well. He finished with 1,104 yards, 9 touchdowns, about 350 yards receiving with 2 touchdowns. Now I think even if Rodgers goes and Jordan Love comes in, he's still going to be valued in the running game, obviously. And with Jamal Williams no longer with the team, he moved on to Detroit Lions. I think he's going to get some of that receiving yardage that Jamal Williams was taking too. He had about 350 yards receiving there. So I think he'll get a little bit more of that. So I think at running back 9, I think that's a solid value for this guy. And it's a guy, if you want to go wide receiver in the 1st round, or even like a Travis Kelce, and you're picking early in the 2nd round, I think this is good value for your RB1. And the next guy is Devontae Adams. Obviously, he finished top as the top wide receiver in fantasy last year, almost 1,400 yards and 18 touchdowns. And he's going about the 10th overall pick, wide receiver 2. Now, he and Tyreek Hill are kind of jockeying for positions if you look at the ESPN Live draft board. But again, solid player. And very talented. He's shown this now 2 years in a row. And now, could his numbers fall a little bit? Sure. Some of the touchdowns could come down. Absolutely would be, I would say he's definitely a top 5 wide receiver. Is he going to finish as the top wide receiver? Maybe, maybe not. You can kind of question that. And I think even if Jordan Love comes in, I think he'll be solid value here late in the 1st round. The other guy I want to talk about here is Robert Tonyan at tight end. Finished as tight end 4 in the ESPN PPR scoring. And he's kind of going rather late, tight end 9. I do think he's a solid value. I didn't want to put a great value here, and here's why. I think a lot of his production is more touchdown dependent here. Basically, the guy had 11 touchdowns. He only had a little over 500 yards receiving. So he only had 52 total receptions. So if you're in a PPR league, that's kind of questionable as far as the receiving share that he's getting. Now, if you're in a standard league with all those touchdowns and you think he's going to be anywhere near that, I think this is great value for him at tight end 9. Now, as far as the sleepers go, I just put the wide receivers. They have 2 main ones. That's Allen Lazard, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Now, if you combine those 2 guys' production, that was about 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns. So it's something to keep in mind. The production has to go somewhere. It can't all go to Adams and Tonyan. And also, again, something to keep in mind, obviously, is this situation with Aaron Rodgers, but this is obviously an elite offense, a lot of top 5 talent here when they're all together. So I would say overall right now, draft with confidence. But if you hear anything, obviously, during training camp with Aaron Rodgers, then you're going to have to adjust your draft boards accordingly. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, the Packers defense finished 10th in the league in fantasy last year. They're going at about the 14th round now, 14th defense being selected. And They do have a lot of good talent on the team, especially what they call the Smith brothers here. They ended up with 60.5 sacks last year, and the team ended up with a total of 41 sacks and 11 interceptions. Jair Alexander, a stud lockdown corner. And then Darnell Savage, a lot of people feel he's going to be taking this leap up this year. And then another guy that's actually kind of comes in on third down, that's Rashawn Gary, who they picked a couple years ago. He came into his second season, upped his numbers from 2 sacks to 5. Like I said, a lot of good talent here. However, I kind of question this. A couple reasons here. One, if you're going to draft a defense and not necessarily stream week to week, you're going to want a top 12 defense, obviously, with a 12-team league. I think they're a fringe top 12 defense. But another thing is we have to keep an eye on this whole Aaron Rodgers situation. You know, if Jordan Love comes in and Aaron Rodgers gets shipped out, obviously that's going to affect the offense. They're probably not going to have as much ball control. That means this defense is going to be on the field more. So they're going to be more tired. They're not going to be playing from ahead either necessarily with that high-powered offense with Aaron Rodgers behind at the helm. So that could affect their numbers too. So again, this is another situation where we need to keep an eye on what happens with Aaron Rodgers in training camp here later on this month, and then draft accordingly. If you did enjoy this video, why not give it a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Put your comments in the section below. I read every single comment and I respond to just about every single comment as well. If you want to catch up to our 31 and 31 video series, click on these links right here. Thanks for watching and supporting this channel, and as always, play like a champion.